So here we are with another episode of Break Your Barriers from the inner tribe of Salt and Pepper family. Yes, an amazing soul who has been with us for a long time now and indeed has created a name for himself in the space of sustainability, in the space of going net zero and building a world which is good for the generations to come. But I'm not going to go into more introduction and let him do the talking. Welcoming today Ganesha Pillai with us on the show. Hey Ganesha,
Hi Kush, thank you for the opportunity and glad to meet all of y'all.
equally excited. And I think it all starts from who is Ganesha? What does he do? And all about you.
A brief introduction. I'm turning 32 this year. I know some people still think I'm young, but according to the UN, as long as I'm below 35, I'm considered a youth. So I'm just going to bring that energy across, hopefully. And apart from that, in terms of who am I and what I do, I work in the space of research, looking at sustainability, climate change, and energy transition. Fully focused on renewable energy sources. What renewable energy is? Energy which are environmentally friendly, solar, hydro, biomass, biogas, and a few other new energy sources that we are looking at. To keep it brief, I think that'll be good for an intro.
Look at the excitement when he talks about sustainability and climate change. I was lost in there's so much to learn, but yes, that's for another day. I would love for us to walk a little bit on the journey and go back in time. Briefly, if I had to ask you, Ganesha, you had to describe about your problems, challenges you were facing before even you joined the inner tribe, the Salt and Pepper family, the mastermind. What was exactly up your journey? What were the challenges?
So when I initially started up, the reason why I started LinkedIn in the first place is to look at professionals from the same background and probably learn from them. But I didn't know how to go about doing it. And the other interesting thing which I wasn't aware of was the conferences and trainings which were made available for free by different organizations globally, and we didn't have the link to that. And how do you actually go and look for these things? So I think those were the initial issues. Apart from that, I couldn't find the right people to talk to, so you can't compare yourself and you can't find that mentorship available online, unfortunately. But of course, in the span of the last 2 years, a lot more professionals are moving into the space, and it's quite inspiring to see their stories and understand their journey through the process as well.
So, would I be right to say that you were missing on having like-minded people who had similar interest in what you also had, and at the same time, you didn't had the place to find out opportunities related to the industry that you're in?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly. Yeah. So to find the right opportunity is one thing, but also to find the like-mindedness and the community that you have, it's
okay?
very hard to come across, especially in the sustainability field. It's a very niche market. All of us roughly know each other, but it is quite interesting how LinkedIn actually gets across, and you can actually find all these people within a push of a button.
Damn, I mean, so you were actually looking for people who were exactly excited the way you were just a few seconds ago, to talk about sustainability and climate change. I think very well said. Niche markets can be very challenging to find people out there. So, why was it even important for you to get into this whole journey of trying to build a brand or finding people with like-mindedness? What was the urge within, or what was the feel factor within?
So initially, when I first started, I wasn't looking forward to become an influencer or somebody who is famous within the field. The idea is more towards giving value to people, make sure they understand what it's all about. Probably getting to know what challenges they are facing in the field, and getting to learn from them as well. Because I'm relatively new to the industry. Previously, I was working in solar before I entered Setup. Setup gave me the difference of understanding different energy sources and plus energy efficiency, which was also a new thing for me. LinkedIn actually played that role of getting to understand people who are working in the same industry. Apart from that, professionals, which you don't normally get on a day-to-day basis. You can't meet somebody across the street who probably understands what you're doing. And LinkedIn actually gave me a chance to go through that experience or journey to meet those type of people.
Correct. And how long did it take you to take that decision, that action to actually get started with the inner tribe? What was the, you know, what were some of the self-talks or some of those doubts that you were having prior to even get started? We had our
So
call, I remember. So
yeah, so before I got started, I came across Kushbu, the LinkedIn girl, kill it on LinkedIn, on Facebook, I think, and your face keep coming out very often. So when I came across that, I was like, quite interesting, and it was for free. So you actually had an introduction course in order for us to understand what you actually have. And it seems interesting using this new platform called LinkedIn. Although I had LinkedIn, I wasn't so active on LinkedIn. I had about 600 odd connect followers plus with plus minus about 500 connections, but they were all people that I know, probably my friends or co-workers and colleagues. But it's really interesting, and I was prompted to join to understand what killing it on LinkedIn was, and I got hooked, and I understood how the mechanism worked out. And I'm happy to have gone through the whole journey and to become a mastermind in the whole process of going through the journey and understanding the opportunity was there for me to take. The question is whether I want to do it or not. And of course, initially you feel like, oh, is this another scam, or are they trying to cheat you of your money? Because you'll be thinking about all that because there are a lot of things available online. But I mean, I just trusted the process, and Kush and Chief and the whole team helped me through the whole process of understanding what the mechanism is and how I can utilize this mechanism to increase the potential that I have.
very well said, Ganesha, because whenever we are transacting our hard-earned money and we are putting it in someone else's bank who we may know, but really don't know inside out, right? But I'm sure we all go through those kind of self-talks. What was your one green flag that actually made you, or what was those red flags that you were feeling within and you said, no, I still want to trust the process? So what was that going inside of you?
So the green flag was basically going out and trying something new. I knew this was an opportunity because I was in the first group, I think group 18. I missed out on the last conference or workshop that you had. And then I was so eager to do it, but it was a month away and I regretted waiting. I could have done so much within a month. But the people that I met along the way, right, your Satyas, your Sitas, and all of them, I mean, they made a lot of difference. And they're still around, and you can see their growth, which is so inspiring. But they're a lot more active than I am. It kills me to a certain extent, a bit envious, but I mean, that's how family is, right? You want them to do good, and you want to grow with them in the process. Of course, your guidance and chief, you're always there whenever it's required. So, I mean, it's a blessing, despite whatever I thought, which was red flags, but more green flags now, and it's waving quite fast. Green flag, by the way, renewable energy, green energy.
Okay, got it, Ganesha. I think when it comes to decisions like this, we all go through such self-talks. And I really want to ask you, have you in this journey? Now, it's been a while since you started and you've grown, and today you have been invited by BFM, Malaysia Kini, and a lot of credible names to either be a speaker, a panelist, or just giving interviews of what your takes are on the industry and the topics and stuff. But all of this coming through, but at the same time, I want to ask you that during the whole journey, have you ever felt like, no, I shouldn't have been a part of it?
uh never I never felt that way because the amount of support is one thing, but the family vibes that I get from every other participant, you actually feel like you're a part of something big, like you can contribute something to this team. You're not left behind, right? Everybody is taken into account. And of course, chiefs message every once in a while when I'm not active to just activate things. I mean, I don't know how you guys do it, right? There's so many people that you reach out to. You guys have been a blessing to me personally in this journey in LinkedIn. I really thank you all in terms of how you all taught me to connect with the right people, meeting the right people, and apart from that, understanding there are courses available for free internationally, and you could learn from and capacity build from there, and probably reach out to the speakers who are speaking in those events. And you all gave me the motivation to go for these speakers and talk to them and have the confidence to learn. I mean, all of us are afraid to ask questions, but after meeting you all, I understand asking question is about always seeking knowledge. Don't be shy to seek knowledge.
And when all of this was happening, Ganesha, what were some of the most unexpected things that actually came your way in terms of visibility, opportunity, or whatever it be?
So to name a few, I never thought that I would be a speaker on stage and people will be listening to me. I have a fear of crowd. I enjoyed meeting people. I enjoyed the networking part of it, both online and offline, because of the thought process. They actually give you different bits and pieces for you to think about. And apart from that, I'd say the most important thing, or the thing that I didn't expect at all, was to get consulting where they actually ask you about sustainability related topics and how they could help their organization, and you get remunerated in return for it. Wasn't expecting it at all, especially someone like me coming into the whole LinkedIn journey. I wasn't expecting any of this. I mean, you get that as a subset of what you learn and you apply from the mechanism.
So, Ganesha, I mean, if someone who is exactly in the place where you are in, and um, sometimes we actually look for a lot of answers, which is today for tomorrow, right? Okay, I'm gonna do this. What's gonna happen? And what is your line of wisdom that you would tell someone who is a youth right now, as a youth leader yourself, to really get started?
So the one key takeaway that I understood is the level of trainings that you give, and whatever training that you give actually has a level of growth in it. Apart from that, you can actually see your success rate at the end of it. So when you initially start, you have all these doubts. Oh, will this work? Do I need to reach out to this person? Do I need to talk to them? Oh, that guy is a total stranger. He probably might not reply. But there is a process on what you go through in terms of achieving this end result. But of course, there are questions in the way. Can I do it? Will it come out correctly? But as you get this done, you'll probably get to see the result. And as a youth, especially, I know all of us want to put our voices out there and we want people to hear, and we don't have the right platform to do so. But LinkedIn has grown as a professional networking site, not your TikTok where you actually put a video out every other day. So these are professionals who are watching your videos or watching your content, and your voice basically makes a difference in terms of how they think about their work, or their work related to sustainability, if you're in the sustainability space, or related to energy or climate change as a whole, depending on what your focus is. It's interesting that LinkedIn actually came up with this top voice thing. I'm still working on it. Haven't been perfect on it. I will work on that as well.
But not bad, Ganesha. What I see from your numbers, you've already got to about 100,000 impressions and visibility across, which is a huge number. I mean, even if you're being humble here, having 100,000 as a people, just going back a year or two back, thinking, did that many people ever knew that Ganesha existed, right? And today, that many people actually know you do, and then they also know what you do. So it's not only just about your name, but your work. But those are numbers. I really want to know, what has it done for you, your life, and what has it, in terms of impact, on your professional and personal journey? Starting with professional and then followed by personal.
So in terms of professional, I mean, I'm not so active on LinkedIn as I was back then. I mean, when I initially started, but everybody considers me as a LinkedIn influencer in the field, which is quite interesting, which I never thought it would happen. But apart from that, personally, I actually got a lot more contacts from people that I can learn from, who were in a better off position than myself, which I can learn off. And they suggested things that I could do and probably learn from in terms of understanding perspectives of my own job, which was something of a, as you put yourself out there, you'll get these things in return. I didn't expect this. It came naturally, but there was a starting point, and I can always say that LinkedIn was where it started in order for me to grow myself personally as well, apart from the profession side.
Ganesh, before you go to the personal front, right, let's look at the professional, digging a little bit deeper. You said you were able to learn from your seniors, right? But what value did it bring back to your life? Okay, yeah, you learned, that's fine. But what is it getting you ultimately? Is it giving you any kind of career growth? It means, what is it in for you?
So I come from a perspective of strategic comms, strategic in terms of looking at things and trying to problem solve and find a solution. Apart from that, comms is making things easier for people to understand. When you meet these guys who have been in the field for 20 years, 30 years, 10 years, you'll actually learn in terms of what problems they have faced, and you actually jump that step rather than you going through the lows and making it. You actually go through a
Um,
high. So those type of
So that
experiences
means
that,
you're learning from people's mistakes so that you don't do the same mistake and you can climb the ladder, which in other words, the corporate ladder a little more faster.
yeah, I mean that's a part of it, but the other benefits that you get is the network, right? And if there's an issue or a concern that you have, you probably could reach out to these people and you'll get it solved rather than you facing it by yourself, which is a lot more harder, I guess, because I always believe people are like books and LinkedIn is a library, so you can probably reach out to anyone and get the solution.
Oh, wow, that's a very good analogy. I'm going to steal that one and definitely apply it somewhere. Not sure where, but that's a good one. So, Ganesha, just on the professional front, we're keeping it same, then we'll go to the personal one. Professionally, I know you have moved companies as well. Did you feel that LinkedIn played any role in your transition of moving companies? Because a lot of reputation of growing brand on LinkedIn is not there, and at the same time, it is also believed that it's just for jobs.
I mean, it's a misconception to be told, because I mean, LinkedIn didn't directly play a role, but it actually impacted on them making a decision to hire me. They actually understood what type of persona I am and what type of words that I'm putting out to society, and they looked at it and they made a decision of hiring me. So it's not only for job; it's actually to grow yourself as an individual, depending on what industry that you're looking at. The beauty is you get so many different professionals that you can reach out and learn from, apart from only your company or your perspective or your closeness. You actually can reach out to different professionals and understand their issues, and you can provide them solution based on what you understand or what values you bring across. That was something special.
Interesting. So that means the silent credibility that was getting built played a very silent role on getting you in a lot of confidence, actually. I mean, that means.
So there's this thing called activism in climate change perspective. So you go out and you march and you tell people not to do this, not to do that. You fight for it. I normally tell people I'm like a silent activist. I rather give out points for people to understand in terms of growth. LinkedIn actually helps that. So you actually get a lot of value put across by doing this.
Interesting. And what were personal impacts to
So
personal
for me
journey?
personally, if you understand an engineer, if you're not so social, so LinkedIn actually helped for me to reach out to people. I mean, even from a personal setting, now I feel a lot more ease to meet people and talk to them, because LinkedIn actually played the role of, go and connect with this stranger. He probably help you. When you go to events and everybody is a stranger, okay, time to network. So that's how it actually helped.
And you are an introvert or not really? I mean, as an engineer, or it's more about you are more comfortable talking with people you know, but not comfortable with the people you don't know.
Yeah. So if I put it to you simply, initially I would only talk to machines. I prefer not meeting people. I feel people bring a lot of problems. But then once you understand people and the people that I'm a lot more comfortable with them. The other thing that I found out is people come with problem, right? And being a problem solver, I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed meeting people and understanding what their problem is and how I could be of value in terms of helping them along their way.
So it's actually making you come out of your space of um, being more comfortable with talking to strangers and just feeling right about yourself in the whole process as well.
The whole process of networking, I would say, because initially I'm not comfortable going and meeting or putting myself out there in order for me to talk to people. But as you do on LinkedIn online, if you can bring that across and do it in real life, then you bring that real life connection to online. You actually grow your network in that sense. So two ways of growing, right?
Talking to you, I am genuinely reminded because I think we use the word network a lot of times so far, right? And to be honest, many people don't understand that our money can go off, even a lot of the hard work can go off. We can lose a lot of things, but one thing we cannot lose ever in our life is our network, and that's why it ends up to become the net worth. And at the same time, if you're stuck somewhere, I'm not even talking professionally, I'm even telling personally, then it's only the people who you know in the right place at the right time can actually help you come out of that space, that problem faster. I was just talking to Coco Wong as well on our podcast, and she had so much, because she's a serial entrepreneur, and she had so much of value in her life that actually came from knowing the right people at the right time, which was network. And I'm really glad that you're also talking about it, and you're also putting the same message for the audiences who are going to watch us. But yes, there is a question that I got to ask, which is, Ganesha, if, okay, I know you're an engineer, so I don't think you would be too shocked with the term, but time machine, since machines have been your friend. So if you put in the time machine, right, and if you had to go back, like, what would the you of today say to the you of the years ago when you were thinking of moving forward with this process? So what words of wisdom would you give to yourself today if you go back on
I mean,
time machine?
start LinkedIn sooner, meet Kush earlier would be one of it. But in terms of sustainability specific, would be probably trust people a little bit more because you can learn off them. I mean, that's the most important thing. And as I mentioned earlier, as networking goes, you are the average of five people that you meet, right? So your worth is one, your work is one, but the people that you meet becomes your network, and your net worth grows that much more. So meeting the right people, meeting more people, meeting people of different values actually adds value onto yourself. That's something that I probably didn't understand when I was younger or when I was in uni. But coming out and working and understanding different people bring different values, and when you meet those people, your life becomes a lot more valuable.
Lovely. So, as we are almost approaching towards the end of the episode, Ganesha, and it is all about breaking barriers. I know that today, one of the things that when the team was working on your profile and they got the numbers, I really was happily surprised to see you in top 3% of your industry through the social selling index, which plays an incredible role, because the journey of going from 20 to 15 to 10 to 5 and then coming to 3, and then of course there is a way where we have to go to 2 and then 1 as well. But this whole thing, right, changes a certain aspect of our personal self, our own self transformation. Did you have any of such transformation going in your journey as well?
For me, I went from a place where I was all by myself to understanding I'm actually a lot more valuable if I'm put out there, and if I could actually meet more people, I'd probably be more valuable myself rather than thinking that, oh, you know what, this solution is great, I should test it out by myself. I mean, those are just individual views of how you look at it, but teamwork and a group or value added across in a group's perspective was a lot more valuable, and people pushing each other to be better. I think that was the whole beauty of the whole tribe when we initially started. And if I can bring that across in probably anything that I'm trying to do, would be amazing. Y'all are perfect. I'm still learning the process on how to do so.
So that
Finding
means
the right.
actually engineers are mostly like about they're sitting and they're doing their thing and they feel that self-sufficient. But then when you actually go out, you meet the teams and you feel like, yeah, you are actually able to uncover or peel a lot of layers which is deep within you and bring out the more potential self.
I
Is that
mean,
what you are
that's the
saying?
only issue, right? We don't know what our potential is, and probably somebody else who knows makes use of what potential you have. And the only way, I mean, there's one thing that you always say, right? Unleash your potential. So we can't unleash our potential when you don't know what your potential is. It's about going out there and understanding how much more you can grow and what values you could add in terms of society as a whole.
Lovely. So now, as we're getting to the end, Ganesha, let's just hear it, because it is break your barriers and unleash your inner self, your potential, your story. We would love to hear, what's that one barrier that you broke over these years?
Honestly, I had a lot of self doubt. I didn't know that I could do it, but the constant motivation and the goodwill that you all have on me, it actually helped me grow myself to a certain extent. So I'd say self doubt was my main issue.
I'm glad that you could overcome it. Now we need you to
Thank you.
believe in yourself, because the world needs a better world tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's not my effort alone, and probably all of us should play a part in doing so.
That's what we call an influencer in making, right? No, Ganesha, that was lovely speaking to you. If anyone who wants to get in touch with him, go to his LinkedIn profile. I don't need to say, just write to him, get in touch with him, speak to him. And indeed, to have you on board um, was amazing, but that's not how it's going to end. We are going to have a commitment right here. Yes. So we are almost halfway down for the year, and we have still about 6, 7 months left. I want to hear it, Ganesha. What are we going to do in this 6, 7 months to make a real impact to the world and really, really make genuine difference in the sustainability space?
I mean, there are a few personal goals, but of course, in terms of LinkedIn, I'll probably get the top badge or top voice badge. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. I probably have to reach out and get things restarted all over again. But I think that'll be a good place to start.
So the top voice batch, and also we're gonna really make sure that we're actually able to move out to a space where we can impact more lives, because you started with 600 as a community that you had of people you knew, but today you have grown it to a point which is about 1,008, and in such a small number. And I would say it's small because I know your potential is way higher than this. I know it's 3x, but it's still small for me. And in if 1,008 you could get an impression of 100,000, which people usually get when they have about 5, 6, 7,000 connections and followers, you're getting it with such small number, which means you can make larger impacts. You can really make genuine difference. So this number has to really get to more people.
Yeah, I will work on it. I'll probably look for more people within the industry that I can reach out to and grow. I probably have to sit on 101 and get some tips from Kush and Chief and revisit how they go about it. But yeah,
We got to make it happen, Ganesha. We're going to do it, right?
yep, I definitely do try my best to do it. Work towards it. You can't. I mean, anything worth having never comes easy.
Very well said. Very well said. But yes, Ganesha, give me a high five. Let's do it. Yay! Superb. No, lovely having you on board. And as I always say, I always get a very, very, very positive vibe from you from the day one, like from killing it on LinkedIn. I still remember those times. And until today, it's exactly the same. So just keep that going and keep spreading the positivity and your smile to everybody. And I can see a beautiful world forward for you. Thank you so much for being with us on
Thank
the show.
you so much, Kush. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.